promised one day you came down and sat next to me. You had my heart fluttering, baby, like a pair of butterfly wings. I seemed to talk for hours about everything we knew. And when you went away, baby, Lord, right then I knew that there's only one woman for me. You showed me things I'd never seen. Oh, baby, you drive me crazy. There's only one woman for me. It's been 2 years, baby. Oh, you're standing there. I see the love in your eyes, wind blowing through your hair. Oh, I can't believe it. Oh, the love we shared. And I knew in my heart, baby, none would ever compare. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I've never seen. Oh, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. We talk for hours, made love on the beach. You are my dream, my only fantasy. Then one summer day, my darling, you went away. You flew up to heaven, you see, got your own pair of wings. Though it broke my heart, I remember everything you taught. There would never be another woman that could mend his heart. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I've never seen. Oh, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. You show me things I've never seen. Whoa, baby, you drive me crazy. And there's only one woman for me. There's only one woman for me. There's only one woman for me. There's only one woman for me.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Amp Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Thank you.
Sound effects.
It's hump day to you. Happy Wednesday.
You know, you didn't tell me yesterday
That it
when
was
we
Tuesday?
did the show that hat was full of glitter.
And?
And I see the red one over there, and I had the silver one, and it's full of glitter. I had glitter on my eyelashes. I had glitter on my face, my clothes, everywhere. When I opened and closed my eyes, it sounded like sand.
Did you have magical dreams that last night?
No, I took a shower. That stuff doesn't come off. I mean, what the hell is in that?
Glitter. How did you not see it though? The whole. Do you remember those were left over from your birthday where I got everyone a fedora, a glitter fedora, so everyone could kind of look like you. But instead, we used it for Fat
But
Tuesday.
I didn't know that the glitter came off.
I don't know.
It was on my tongue. It was ridiculous.
You'll always remember the cafe, as they say. Isn't that Casablanca? Something like you don't ever forget or you'll always remember. Frank will know. What's the line in Casablanca? Here's looking at you, kid, like you'll never forget. And here's looking at you, kid, you'll never forget the cafe.
Is that the line?
I don't know.
You
I
know
made
what the
that
hell
up.
she's talking about?
No. Play it again, Sam? I don't know.
That was the cartoon. That was Bugs Bunny that said that.
Actually said play it, Sam.
Play it, Sam. But anyway,
So
happy
thank
Wednesday
you
to
very
you.
much for glitterizing me yesterday.
Anytime. Welcome back.
I'm sure, because you used to do that all the time, like LeBron James.
Do you
would
remember
go
that?
in there.
We should
How
really
come
go
Josh
back
didn't
to
have
that.
any glitter. Oh, because Josh fell asleep. And do you know they kept putting the camera on you? You were snoring.
I didn't know it until I found it out last night. I showed my mom. She started dying in laughter.
That's what happens when Teddy's bartender on Fat Tuesday.
Yeah, I had 4 shots. I was gone.
Oh my God. They were this big.
You know, I can only take that much.
They were wee baby shots.
Yeah.
And
know-
then you fell asleep and they kept putting the camera on you.
Well,
You know, Tracy Newmom's usually the bartender, but now Teddy's back, so I don't know what she found, but she did a nice job. I don't know how she got that layered look.
I don't either.
But
You,
she did
you
good.
remember, Teddy's a dangerous barkeeper, but do you know who the most dangerous barkeeper in the history of our show has been?
Who?
Three Finger Finale. What's her name?
Who?
Mia.
Oh, she's an 8-finger pour.
Yeah, she used to
And
say
then,
8
and then
fingers.
one more for good luck.
Did he meet Mia?
I don't think
I
so.
don't think you met Mia.
She did the
She
8
went
finger.
through 4 bottles of vodka on a set.
The 8-second
day?
pour and 9 for good luck in one drink.
oh my
And she
God.
was a bartender, so she knew how to hide it.
Yep.
You know how you hide it?
But you didn't even partake in it, so I hope everyone had a nice Tuesday.
Thank you for letting the world know, because people think that I was drinking yesterday.
Not at all. I think all you had was water and
Coffee.
coffee and your shakes. Yeah, you've been really good.
Yeah.
You've
Still
been-
didn't work.
You got to give it time. You know what they say?
Give
It's
it
like
time. I don't
it's
got
like when
time.
you get pregnant and you try to lose the baby weight. It took you 9 months to get to there and produce a life. You got to give yourself at least 9 months to get back.
9 years to get back.
So it took you however long to get to where you are. You got to give yourself some time and patience to
I
get
love
where
it
you
when
want
you
to
use
be.
logic on me. I
It's
love
truth. You didn't get there overnight, so it's not
it.
going
I'm
to
not
change
saying
overnight.
overnight. I just wish that things were, in a more better way. But today is Ash Wednesday.
It's a new day.
Now I was wondering why the maestro over there had his hat upwards in the North Pole, and I can see why.
Today's Ash Wednesday.
You could have put that ash a little lower.
I got to say,
Like Charles Manson.
I did not place it.
Oh, as a priest did that?
Priest did that. I didn't place it.
Oh.
so what does Ash Wednesday signify? The beginning of
The beginning of Lent, you have to profess your sins humbly, and it basically reminds us from ashes we came, and from ashes we're going to end up.
and it's 40 days to
40
Easter.
days.
And you have to give something up. Lent starts today.
You
I
gave
wish
up hate last year.
Yeah.
Didn't work out so well for you, huh?
Yeah, it worked out well.
You gonna do it again this year?
I hated less. This year I'm giving up fear.
That's even harder than hate.
No, it's not. Fear means that you do. You don't say, let me think about it.
See,
You
I
just
don't
do it.
hate. I might dislike, but I don't hate. But fear,
You can't do hate. You forget about it.
yeah,
You
but
get all
fear, that's a big
discombobulated.
one.
Fear is interesting.
Fear's a
You
big
ever
one.
did something and you sit there, you go, should I do this? Should I do this? And by the time you say, okay, let me do it, it's over. So I'm not giving fear a fighting chance this time. I'm just going to.
I don't think you're fearful though of things.
I am.
You
Fearful to you.
But food, in our religion,
Fearful of Frank.
we repent for a day. We go to Yom Kippur, we repent our sins for a day, and then everyone leaves synagogue, they eat, and they seem to go back to doing what they were doing before.
See, we're better than that. We wait
Right?
40
Jillian's
minutes.
shaking her head, right? We do it in a day when we think we get dressed up, we wear white, we go, okay, it's all out, and we repent for our sins. but yet I don't know. I don't know if it ever works.
Well, you're supposed to repent every day, not one day. This special day is remembrance.
So I like the 40 days because they say it takes 21 days to make a habit a lifestyle. So,
She's turning it into the art of repent.
but wait, so for 40 days, if you're actually going to make a change in your life and give something up that you know does not serve you, whether it be meat, fear, hate, dislike for a person, or add forgiveness, maybe at the end of 40 days you're actually changing your mindset instead of just the one day of starvation that we do.
Well, it's the act of doing. When I was young, 8, 9 years old, I used to give up bubble gum, chewing gum. And they didn't care what you gave up. Just the act of saying, I'm going to give up something for Lent was
For
what they were
change, yeah.
looking for. And, if we can just do that and say, I'm going to give up hate or give up something negative, judgment or whatever,
There's a lot.
cursing like a sailor, things like that.
When you were a little kid, did you ever think I'm never going to be like my parents? I'm going to have fun my whole life and I'm going to live like a kid and live in magic, and I don't understand why parents watch the news and why they're this way and why they get cranky. Did you ever think that?
No, I wanted to be like my parents. Why wouldn't I want to be like my parents? My father had a lot of fun. We had parties all the time. They had friends. My father was a hard worker. He was a self-made guy. He had money. He was a self-made dude. He came to this country with $1.25. Why wouldn't I want to be like him? I wish I was half the man that he was. My father was a worker, and he had a great time. You got to remember, I don't know how to work a phone like Gio and Joey and these guys. I don't know how to do it. I don't care. I said, come here, Josh, do this for me, and they do it. Right? You can't know everything.
You going to give up meat?
No.
Or are you really going to give up fear?
Fear.
I like the concept of giving a concept up of
What are you
something
gonna give
negative.
up? You're Jewish. You don't have to give up nothing.
See, but my whole sense of being has changed since
You see how
I
this
work
works?
since I work
Frank,
among so
you
many
see how
different
this
people.
works?
Because I don't
not
think
even
it's,
Catholic, but she's willing to give something up because she doesn't want to be excluded.
no, it's not that, because I think everyone should stop being so divisive and so segregated as you're Catholic, you're Christian,
So
you're
what are you
Jewish,
gonna
you're
give up?
Muslim. I think we should all embrace being kinder to
Let's
each
cut
other.
to the chase. What are you giving up?
I'm going to try and give up fear. That's going to be harder. So maybe I'm going to
Pick
add
something you can
being
do.
more patient.
You're going to give
Instead
up
of
being
giving
patient?
up, maybe I make it positive and be more patient. Maybe
Oh,
I
so you're
make
going to give
something-
up impatience?
It's like when your kids were little. Did they have a chore chart,
No,
allowance chart?
no. My kids used to come up to me and says, Dad, pay time.
All right. So when I was growing up and when I used to teach special ed, instead of taking something away from someone for negative, we would do something positive. So if you made your bed, you got a star, or if you were kind to somebody, you got a sticker. Instead of removing, we would give.
I didn't
so
do
I'm
that.
I'm going to use that concept of giving and be more positive.
You know why I don't do that? Because then they expect it when they do it, and they're doing it for all the wrong reasons.
Well, I didn't like taking things. I still am like that. You
I
know,
know, you
everyone
like
to me
giving
gets a trophy.
a trophy to everybody in the team.
I know, so I'm not good
Every
at
team
giving
gets a
things up.
trophy. What are we fighting for? You gotta win. You gotta win.
Acceptance, camaraderie,
Ay,
teamwork.
ay, ay. Okay. What are you giving up?
I'm not giving up-
Impatience?
No, I'm going to. I could give up impatience.
What about
to be
confusion?
patient.
Why don't you give that up?
I'll try that too. But I'm going to try and be more patient and more compassionate.
I want to ask, what are you giving up for Lent? Because you are Catholic,
You notice
right?
I spin. I can't even give you a straight
You
answer.
can.
To be honest.
Well, today's the day, so thinking time is over. What do you want to give up? What do you think you're capable of giving up?
I'm thinking, like Don's saying, like bringing in more positivity, letting go of negativity.
Are you an impatient person?
I don't think
No,
so.
I don't think so either.
Letting go of negativity. I like that.
Yeah.
Frank?
Anger? Letting go of anger. No more anger.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
You're like, yes, that's a good one. Ding, 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 ding.
We'll guide you to what you're going to give up. Frank, what are you giving up, Frank?
Giving up desserts, but I'm going to try to be more patient, which is, wow, that's going to be rough.
It's
Wait a
tough.
minute. Wait, you're giving up dessert.
Yeah.
That's going to make you more impatient.
Nah, not really. And I'm going to try to be more patient with things.
Are you impatient?
Oh, yeah.
You are or you aren't?
I'm.
You
I
are?
I am not patient at all.
I would never think that.
Me neither.
I
Chris,
thought you
she's-
were-
the editor's laughing over there.
Is he
He knows.
patient? You want
I'm not
things
patient.
done very
I want
fast.
it's got to be, and especially if it's something that people do that are really stupid. I don't get that on a
Well,
patience.
that's a problem because 99% of everything else going around us right now is kind of
Yeah,
stupid.
so I've got to try to be more patient.
Yeah, interesting.
And Jillian, we can't ask you that question.
You can.
You can. I mean, I'm Jewish, so yeah, I'm with you, Don. But I like the whole idea of hate. I think that we could all be better if everyone gave up hate.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's interesting because even though you're not Catholic, and when you say the words "I'm going to give up hate," it lights a bulb on somebody. So maybe they say, you know, something that's not a bad one. And if you get one that turns to two, two turns to four, four turns to eight. That's the way I add. It's a positive thing, even though. That's why I tell Dawn, it doesn't matter if you're Catholic, Jewish, you're a person.
That's why I
People
don't
give
think
up
this is. It's so funny. When I was younger, and my parents, you go to Sunday school and you go get your bar and bat mitzvah and you go to confirmation and you're Jewish. That's your identity because that's what's instilled in you. And probably the same thing. You were an altar boy and
Went
being
to Sunday
Catholic,
school,
right? You do
yeah.
what you do. And then we get to this space where we are, and we've got such amazing people we work with, and this space of energy we share. And in my mind, I realize it's not about what religion you are or you are, that we're all people, and we should all treat each other with dignity, humanity, kindness, patience, and respect, right? So it doesn't matter what symbol you wear around your neck, we're all people.
That's right.
So I think the more that we do what we do, my whole concept of religion has changed to more of a greater good for mankind.
Well, sometimes people get out of control because they get angry, or they get confused because something's happening that isn't going their way, or something is, triggers. Hello, we talked about triggers yesterday. Some people don't realize they have triggers.
Remember that trigger I told you about yesterday? My girlfriend sends me a write-up. The restaurant has been written up for bad food and dirty whatever. And she's like, LOL. I'm like, no wonder I had a trigger. Like, it just didn't sit well with me, that whole
So now
place.
you're going to trigger. Josh, what are you giving up for Lent?
I had one thing in mind. I just don't know if I can say it, so I'll just say laziness.
Oh, I know what you're going to give up for Lent.
What?
That thing you can't say.
He's going to
I'll
give
say
up
it's one of
laziness.
the deadly sins. I'll say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I'm gonna give up laziness.
You think you're lazy?
Yeah. You should see me at my house. I go home. All I do is, my mic's off. I'm sorry. All right, it's back on now. Okay. Yeah, I'm lazy because when I go home, I just play video games.
I don't think you're lazy. I think you're moody.
Moody?
Yes, because you're one of the more harder working
She's
guys that
agreeing.
I've ever met. But it comes in waves. You know, like you
Well-
go to the beach and you surf.
That's why I asked Don where I can get sage at, because there's something in my house. I mean, the outside of the house is pretty, but when you go in the inside, I can see all like the past memories that I have because I've only grown up in that one house.
All right, tomorrow we're going on a road trip.
Okay.
Gonna go wash his house.
No, tomorrow we're going up to that place we go to. I need candles, he needs sage.
Yeah, I need to cleanse my room real bad.
Road
Real bad.
trip tomorrow.
First of all, he has a dog that's an elephant with teeth like a
Not an
rhinoceros.
It's the sweetest little boy of all.
No, that little boy he'll eat my arm with one gulp.
Well, how are you giving up laziness? You're going to do what?
Like I said, instead of going home and just like smoking and playing video games all day, I'm gonna go home and actually create some art pieces or finish my books instead of like taking a month to finish it. I'll want to finish it like in a week, or I can go on to the next thing or something like that, or practice coding, practice animation. Because I got so much more to do instead of just playing video games all day.
Well, the problem is that you're comfortable at home.
I know, yeah.
And you're a homebody at heart. You like to go home and you like to lay out and everything else. You like to hang out with your dog. If you turn it into a business and you synchronize some time and turn it, we had this conversation yesterday with another one of the producers. It's different because you have grown up and you're changing now to another level. You're like that onion that she was talking about yesterday. And this college thing now is becoming passe. You're ready to go on to that next level of growth and things that you want to do and maturity. And I don't think you're lazy at all. I think you're just moody. There are things you like, things you don't like, and you're beginning to find out what. Because you're very good at the things you do. That
Yeah, I don't think
video.
you're lazy. I think we got to give you more to do.
No, yeah, I mean, you put me in a work situation. I'm ready to work all the time. But like I said, when I go home, there's something in the atmosphere that just makes me lazy and just
All
not
right.
puts me down. But
Instead of coming in tomorrow, we're going to go on a road trip and meet you somewhere.
sounds good.
No, not you.
Yes, you can come
Yes,
too.
you can
Meet us here in the
come.
morning.
Where
We'll
are we
meet him up
going?
there. We're going up to the Expedito Enlightenment Center.
Oh.
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 Is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's in his head, not in his house.
But it doesn't matter. It's your perception. And if it's your perception of something and you want to take care of it, then you
Why don't
take
we
care of
ask
it.
the master? Frank, you ever gone into a house and your perception is that the house needs to be, for lack of a better word,
Cleaned?
altered?
I can't remember any. I probably have. Yeah, but you can feel it.
You can
There's
feel it
something
when
wrong
you
with
walk in.
Yeah.
Is it changeable? Can you change a house's perspective?
You can have it changed, sure. I don't know if I can do it, but it can be changed. Depends on what's wrong in the house. Depends on what's there.
Is it the people or the house?
Sometimes it's both.
See that, Josh? Sometimes it's both. So it could be something you bring, you add an ingredient to the house.
I mean, I've changed up, like, you know, the scenery of my room and everything. I made it more quote unquote minimalist, taking out a lot of, like, just, I guess, decor or whatever you want to call
Are
it.
you a patient guy?
Oh, I'm very patient. The only time I'm not patient is when I'm on the road. I have road rage so bad.
Welcome to Florida.
Basically,
Two dudes in
yeah.
a car.
Yeah, I know.
Road rage. Him and the other guy.
Things to
Road
do.
rage.
All right.
I think Katie saw me flip out once because we were getting on the turnpike or a 95, and I had to get over because if I stayed in the one lane, it was an on ramp and I would have gotten straight off. And I was trying to get over, and this car kept speeding up and slowing down with me, and she saw me at like my heatest moment scream at the guy. So yeah, Florida drivers are terrible.
It's getting worse.
It's
Traffic is
because
terrible.
everyone's coming down here.
I know.
We need
You know,
all the fake Floridians to get out.
they
22
say-
million people in Florida now.
They say Florida and Austin, some of the
22
top
million.
places. 22 million?
And they're all in Boca.
They said South Florida and Austin, the top two places people migrated to since the pandemic.
See, but that doesn't bother me. I lived in New York. I lived in the Bronx. There were 22 million people in
Did
the
you
Bronx.
drive?
No, I walked. Yes, I
No,
drove.
you got on transportation,
in
right?
Manhattan? No, I drove. I had a limo. I used to drive a limo in Midtown Manhattan.
That's true.
One of them buses. Try to drive. I used to drive buses in Manhattan, but I didn't have that problem because I don't look at it that way.
Want to hear an
Driving to me,
interesting story?
huh?
Yes.
When my grandfather and his brother came to America in the early 1900s, they had a bar. They opened a bar in Manhattan. And during Prohibition, they needed product for the bar. So my grandfather chauffeured Lucky Luciano
Really?
to get product.
You got to do what you got to
Gotta
do.
do what you gotta do.
I saw you posted that. Was it you that posted the pizza in Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Yes.
You posted the pizza at the party and everything they had there?
Yeah. Lenny's
Lenny's. I
closed
post-
yesterday.
I tried sharing it, but it was a TikTok. You saw the double slices? They had the double one inside the other. Everybody ordered 2 slices, one inside the
One
other.
side the other. All right, we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Jillian Smath. She is the CEO of SOS Children's Village of Florida. Wow, I am so honored that she's actually here with us. And she said, yes, this is a big, big win. And then we've got Frank, who is always our big win with us. We're going to talk about what he's got happening this weekend over in Wellington. Read it, write it. It's a great workshop for authors and writers and anyone interested in publishing. So stay tuned, more to come. 888-994-4995, Studio A, and we'll be right back.
Known for his Art Deco Cubist style and compositions with dancing saturated color, Ken Bieberman has lived and breathed art his whole life. From the early 80s, he's influenced the Art Deco district of Miami Beach. Featured in numerous restoration projects, hotels, galleries, and clubs, Bieberman creates for everyday folks and celebrity clientele. He's also the proprietor of Art Repro, a giclée and scanning company in Pompano Beach. When it comes to scanning high resolution, size is not an issue. Professionally scanning art up to 10 feet and 64 inches in width, Art Repro utilizes state-of-the-art equipment. On quality canvas or paper, archival ink and printing mediums are put to use. Art Repro ensures colors are true and every nuance of the art is captured, including the canvas weave. Perfection is the priority. Contact artist Ken Bieberman today at 954-547-0095 or visit his website www.artrepro.net.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
Le Sorel Restaurant, home of the authentic Italian tradition, offers a large menu that consists of seafood, steak, homemade pasta, brick oven pizza, and homemade desserts including a wide wine selection. We also have the best bar in Boca Raton with delicious cocktails, homemade limoncello, cappuccino, Italian espresso, brandy, and other specialties, open every day with a lunch and dinner menu. For more information or to make a reservation, contact lesorelrestaurant.com or call 561-235-5301.
There is no way to ignore it. You hear it on the news, online, from your friends and family. What happened to my money? Whether it got hit by falling stocks and bonds, with the coronavirus, shrunk by a floundering 401k with low interest rates, and is riding the extreme ups and downs of the stock market with political elections. Many Americans are worried about their money and how they're going to retire. Help protect your financial future now and call J.D. Mellberg for your complimentary book from a leading financial firm that shows you ways not to run out of money whether the market goes up or down. This free book reveals little-known truths about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that can protect your money for a lifetime. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report summarizing the rates and benefits of annuities from hundreds of top-rated insurers, helping you to find ways to get up to 33% more income in retirement. That's right. 2 books, both absolutely free, for calling J.D. Mellberg. Help protect your financial future.
Call 877-643-3015.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. Nice job. We'll take it.
What do you mean you don't got a computer? Of course you got a computer.
We will take it. A few weeks ago, I had this great opportunity to go to 100 plus Women Who Cares. We got to interview them, gosh, I guess about a year or so ago. We opened up our platform to all of these women, and they sent me an email. And because our schedules changed, I was actually able to leave here early one evening and go to a networking event, which was amazing, and it was over at Ollie's. And we're sitting and everyone's talking, and it's such a great organization. 100 plus Women Who Cares. There's a different organization in different areas of town. So this is the one for Boca, and I believe there's one in Fort Lauderdale down in Broward County. And it's $100 for each woman per quarter. But that $100 goes to a charity that gets voted on by all of the members for that quarter. So you pay $100 for the quarter, you meet once a quarter, and then all that money gets distributed to a charity that gets voted on.
One charity?
One charity per quarter. And what's so amazing about this is it gets matched by, I believe it's up to 15% by the Home Depot Foundation. So if they make $1,000 or $8,000, 15% of that overage is then given back to the same charity by the Home Depot Foundation. So it's a win-win, right? You get to come together, network, support business, and support local charities. So when I was there, I went with Laura from Laura Sanders Sales, so she joined me, and I met this lovely woman, Jillian Smath. She is the CEO of SOS Children's Village in Broward County. And I'm going to let her tell your story. And she's actually very good friends with Alana's mom. So Alana Scher, one of our former producers. Yeah. Alana just won Miss Broward County, so bell ringing for Alana. Congratulations. She is moving on to the Miss Florida pageant, which will be in the spring. So this is her next chance of winning that. And Alana's always spectacular. I was talking to Jillian, and Tracy Latome was nominated by SOS Children's Village for Woman Volunteer of the Year for their 35th annual award, which was November. So Jillian, welcome. It's such a pleasure to have you here at the cafe.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, it was great to meet Dawn, and that opportunity was outstanding. So I am the CEO at SOS Children's Villages Florida, and we are a nonprofit, and about 20 minutes down the street in Coconut Creek, we have a cul-de-sac with 15 buildings, 13 of which are homes, and our mission is to provide care to children who are in the foster care system in Broward and Palm Beach County, and our main focus is keeping siblings together. So oftentimes when children come into foster care, there are large sibling groups, and a lot of times what happens is these kids not only get taken away from their parents, but then they have to be separated from their brothers and sisters. So our goal at SOS is to eliminate that secondary trauma and allow them to be with their brothers and sisters while they're spending time in the foster care system. We have a beautiful campus. We have foster parents who live in the homes and provide the care to the children. They take care of anywhere between 4 and 6 kids at any time. And we really want to make sure that our kids have a typical childhood. So anything and everything that we all have had as kids or our own have given to our own children, we want to make sure that these kids have that. So they all go to school, they have the opportunity to participate in extracurricular activities, go to summer camp, they get tutoring and they get therapy. So we make sure that like the whole person is taken care of. And we want them to thrive and become outstanding young adults. We do have a secondary program that as kids age out of foster care, because when you are in the foster care system, if you don't get reunified or adopted, you grow up in that system. And at 18, you're sort of turned out to take care of yourself and live on your own. And I don't know about any of you, but I have an 18-year-old right now who is off at college, and she's doing a great job, but she certainly would not be able to do it without the support of, her parents, myself, the rest of her family. So these kids who have all been exposed to really, difficult situations, they're expected at 18 to do what typical kids, are not. So we have a secondary program that is providing resources and support to young adults aging out of foster care, and we have about 190 young adults right now that we are providing that care and assistance to, in addition to the 45 plus kids that are living on our campus with their siblings. So it's a pretty special place, and I met Dawn, like she said, through this wonderful organization, 100 Women Who Care. And I had the opportunity, I was going to join because I'm always looking to meet new other women and network and share what I do. And I had the opportunity to be a presenter that night, kind of last minute. And I got up and I spoke and I shared the story of SOS. And we were selected that very first time to be the charity of choice. So we will be getting several $1,000s from the group, and that's really important to us because we have about a $5 million budget, and of that we have to raise half every year. So something like 100 Women who care is, you know, certainly helping us achieve that goal.
So that was your first meeting,
That was my first meeting.
and you won.
And I won. And I didn't even think I was going to be presenting. I thought I was going to join and hopefully have the opportunity to present sometime later in the year. And they asked me that same evening to present. So,
Wow,
yeah,
that's amazing.
it was pretty special.
It was so great. And
Yeah.
I got to go to SOS Children's Village when my kids were little. I think we went through Temple Bethel at some point, or one of the moms who always does some great things. And I think we had a party and there was food and you had this great area for the kids. And what you do for them by keeping siblings together is remarkable, because you're right. The hardest thing is you're being taken out of this home. I can't even say the loving home where you wouldn't be taken out of it. You're taken out of this home, and then you're split up and you're supposed to go about your life and go to school and do your homework and feel normal.
Yep.
What age do you take them from?
So our youngest that ever came to us was 2 days old, straight from the hospital. On our campus we serve, you know, through age 18 mostly, although really we say through high school graduation. So some of our kids turn 19 or 20 before they're actually transitioning out because they're still in high school. But really every age, because if they're a sibling group and, you know, the youngest is two days old and they have older siblings, we want to keep them all together. So
How long have you been doing that?
I've been with SOS. In August, I celebrated my 25th year. Wow. So a long time.
I gotta ask.
One place, 25 years.
This is a lucky charm. You haven't played lotto, her pick the numbers you know you're gonna hit. Why? Why have you done it? 25 years.
Because I'm making a difference every single day. And, you know, I went to school for social work, so I always knew I wanted to help other people. And, you know, I figured if I could change one life, that would be amazing. But I have the opportunity to impact so many lives each and every day. And it's really become a part of my family. You know, when I started, I was not married. So I've kind of hit every milestone. Really, I got engaged, I got married, I had 2 children. My own family has, you know, experienced everything right alongside me. My kids have done so much with the children there, and it's so meaningful. And I know that we're making a difference in the lives of people and giving families a chance to grow and thrive and heal and be better. And that's what this world needs, right? Is just love and to be better and to not hate.
Not hate.
Yeah.
Consistency is always the trophy that you can always say if somebody really believes in the heart. And 25 years is a really, really consistent, long time.
Yeah.
So, you know, we need more people like you.
Thank you.
It's an amazing, amazing story.
What do you think makes SOS stand out from the other villages or the other communities?
So, you know, I think within the foster care system, you know, the component of keeping siblings together, I think makes us different, but it's also really critical. And then, you know, I think the campus piece, you know, so you have lots of foster homes. There's amazing foster parents out there. There are people that are doing this each and every day, but ours is a campus. So everybody on the street is doing the same thing, and there's so much support. It's such a, you know, contained, supportive environment, and I just think it really helps the children be successful, the foster parents be successful, and our mission be successful, because you have that community. And then, of course, our program that we provide for those that are transitioning from foster care. There are a lot of programs that do that, but most of them end at 24. We don't have an end time. And, you know, some people say, well, at 24, shouldn't they be, you know, ready to kind of be on their own? Yes, technically they should, but come on, we all have situations that come up. Maybe when we're 35, or maybe when, you know, we're 27. Nothing is scripted in life, and when they face challenges, we're still there for them. So it doesn't matter what age they are. They know that SOS, if it was once their home, it's always their home, and they can always come back and ask for assistance, whether that's financially or it's just I need somebody to talk to. I need somebody to be to walk me down the aisle, or to be in the delivery room with me when I have my own baby. Aww. So I think those 3 components really make us different.
Ageless is amazing. I have never heard of that.
Because when you age out, I remember when Aaron was in college and he had some issues and he was a freshman. I remember having to bring him home from school and reparent at 18, 19 years old, because you can't just send them out and say, you're all grown up. And I'm thinking about that while you're talking, saying I can't imagine these kids who age out of our system, right? We cut them off, no money, no car, no school, no nothing, and say B, without any support. So that, to me, there's so many things that you do that's amazing, but this way they know they're never alone.
Never alone.
They always have a family.
Yep.
And I think foster parents, because kids, they don't have a choice. If they are taken out of a home, it is not by their choice. They have to be taken out and placed in a nurturing home. But to be a foster parent means you are choosing to help raise another child, whether you had your own and there are more children, or you're just saying this is my goal in life, my purpose is to help raise. You're choosing to give of your time and your love to children that are not necessarily biologically yours. You haven't even been inseminated and you're not carrying them. You're choosing to love another child, an entire family, and then not even live in your home. Right? You're living on another campus that becomes your home. These parents should be recognized and rewarded for what they're doing.
Absolutely. I say all the time, they're the key component to what we do. And, you have, in business, you have org charts, and they always put, the CEO at the top. And I always say, nope, we need to flip ours, because for us, without those foster parents, I wouldn't have a job. I couldn't do what I do without them. Nobody could. So it's incredible what they do. Last week was Foster Parent Appreciation, and they get a week. I think they should get every day should be Foster Parent Appreciation Day, because they really are just the most caring, special human beings. And I'm grateful that we have some pretty terrific foster parents.
So you've got what, 8 to 16, I guess, if you've got 8 homes?
We have 8 homes right now. We have 13 homes, but we have 8 that are functioning right now. So we're still looking for foster parents. It's not an easy position to fill, because not only are you looking for somebody that wants to open up their heart and care for kids, but like you said, they're moving into our home. So they're giving up whatever they have to come and live on our campus and live in our homes. So
how long have you had? What's your longest foster parent that's been with you?
I think we're at about 10 or 11 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
What the heart and the soul of that parent, or those parents that do that?
Yep. And she's taking care of multiple sibling groups. They come and they go, and you have to think about that too. They get attached to these kids, and then the kids may be reunified, and that's a whole nother piece that they have to deal with, is the emotional piece for themselves.
And when a child is taken out of a home, is there a choice as to what foster placement they get? Or do they reach out to you and they go, Jillian, we've got a family of 3, can you help?
Yeah, so there's a central, so ChildNet is the agency in Broward and Palm Beach County that oversees foster care. So they will reach out to, different foster homes, different providers, and they say, yes, we have this sibling group right now, 4 kids, can you take them? So it's just really if we have the space. And sometimes it's not just the number 4, but it's also the right mix of kids, because you want to make sure sometimes in one home you might have multiple sibling groups. So you can't just throw 6 kids together. You have to really look at the individual needs of each child, and what their backgrounds are and what they've been exposed to, and make sure that you're making a really good match.
Girls, boys, got to separate them and things like that.
So we don't have to separate them, but we do have to take into consideration what their backgrounds are. So if they've had some exposure to sexual abuse, we don't want to, get into mixing them at that point.
Right.
So certain ages, you want to be careful. So it's very tricky. It's really like a very unique puzzle that we have to kind of, put it all together.
And kids, you have any kids that were trafficked or you have found to have had that situation?
We have had that situation. We had a sibling group a couple of years ago, and their own grandmother was actually trafficking them. So
Really?
It was horrific. But that's not the traditional profile of a child in foster care. You hear those stories because they're on the news, because they're so extreme that you hear them.
Right.
But really, foster care, I would say what we see is, a lot of times a parent or parents who hit a rough patch, They don't have resources, they don't have a family network, they don't have a support system. Domestic violence, drug abuse is usually involved. And when you really start peeling away their own experiences, they never had the right parenting as a child. So it's sort of, this systemic issue. And so we do have social workers on our staff that do work with the parents, because really a child belongs with their biological family as long as it can be safe. So we work really hard to support the biological parents to get their children back, because that really is the best place for them. And we find, like I said, that they really just haven't been taught. They haven't been given the tools, they haven't been given the resources that they need to be a good parent. So we have a team of staff that is supporting them through that, and a lot of times, a majority of times now actually, our children do go back home and get reunified with their biological families.
Do you have resources for other parents in the community that want to get back in touch with their kids, but maybe just need that extra help of maybe different parenting styles, getting reacclimated with a child that's been taken out for a little bit?
So we don't offer that, but there are resources in the community, so we are always referring people, because we get calls all the time, because people don't know what SOS is, so they call us, and we're always referring people to the right places. There are, we're very lucky in this community, Broward, Palm Beach in particular. We've got a really great social service system, and when you look at other areas of the state, they're just not as equipped to deal with the things that we have in our communities.
And how are the kids? They go to school, they come back. How is their emotional state? How is it for them being bullied? 'Cause I mean, all kids are bullied, right? Whether you're going home, and what's that extra layer like for these kids?
So, I think nowadays it's much more accepting. I feel like there's so many things that kids experience that are kind of out in the open. Like when I was growing up, foster care was like something nobody ever talked about. It was like little Orphan Annie, right? So, but I think nowadays, just with social media and just how everything is really readily out there for people, the kids they don't get a lot of that at school. But we do everything too to make sure that they are going in with as much typical childhood experiences as possible. So, we get the calls all the time. Can I donate, my used clothes to you? We won't take the old, dirty used clothes. And some people get really frustrated. They're like, well, you're a charity. You should take whatever we give you. But no, because if you're getting rid of it and it's ripped and torn, why would I put our kids in
right.
that? That's just setting them up for failure. Any child, it doesn't even have to be a foster child. So we make sure that they have, everything kind of the equivalent to their peers at school. Tutoring is a huge thing for us, so we have a tutoring program. All of our kids are getting tutoring 4 days a week after school, because we want them to be equivalent to the peers that they're in school with each and every day, because that's what's giving them the opportunities and the chances to be, successful.
And they must be close-knit, that whole group of kids, right?
They are.
Because they sort of see each other every day.
Yep.
They relate with
family,
one
yeah.
another every day.
Yep.
It was funny because I was talking to some of the producers, one in particular who's not here today, and I told her about the HEOP, the HEOP program, when I went to NYU. And that's how I went through to NYU, because I was a minority coming from Puerto Rico, and they paid my way and everything else. So she looked it up. She says, oh my God, this exists. I was shocked. That was over 30 years ago. It's still in play. So I can sort of relate to some of the things you're saying, because I had the Moody brothers. If Freddie was here, he would be jumping up and down. And their father was taken away to jail. And I had a 13 and an 11-year-old brother. And he didn't tell anybody that these kids were left alone. And I was the landlord of the building. So they used to play football for me. And I noticed they didn't come to practice for a couple of weeks. And I went to the house and I said, where's your dad? And they told me the story. You got arrested. And I said, and nobody's come for you? Nobody's come to see? He says, no. He says not to tell anybody because they'll separate us. Mm. And Freddie will tell you the story. They came to live with me. And it was hard because I didn't want to step on anybody's toes, but I had to do the right thing by bringing the authorities in and all this. And everybody was shocked. What do you mean? He wrote on the application he had no children living with him. And that wasn't true either.
Wow.
And the school system and everything else failed. Everything fell between the cracks. I probably could have had them today. They probably would have been with me, fine young men, you know. But I had to do the right thing because I felt I was breaking the law, which I probably was, by keeping them. And I kept them as long as I could, and then they moved on. But I tell you, it was tough back in the day in the Bronx because they didn't have these systems. They didn't have anything like what you're describing. I'm in shock. I'm sitting here just taking it in. I can't believe some of the things that are available through your program for kids in the care center.
Great resources. How can people help? What are you looking for? What's your need?
So, volunteers are our favorite thing in the world. You know, there's a saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and it really truly does. You know, we have our campus, but we rely a lot on volunteers. And there's a million ways that people can get involved through volunteering. We really try to tap into what it is that each individual person wants to do. Because when you're doing something that's meaningful to you, you embrace it and you do it. You know, instead of being told, well, you know, we need this. We have so many needs. So we have a very rich volunteer program. We always have events that we need, you know, help with. We have you know, opportunities to interact with the children, like you were saying, through your temple. So, you know, I just encourage people to visit our website, which is www.sosflorida.com, and there's a whole volunteer tab. There's on our website, there's different ways to get involved. Donations, obviously, we need, you know, financial resources, and in-kind donations as well. So there's so many different things that you could do. It's just a matter of, you know, what people want to do, but reach out at any time, and we have people that will, you know, connect you with different ways to help us.
Check out the website. Josh, in your spare time, maybe you can help mentor them in music or art or animation or something.
We do. We have a whole mentor program. So
there you go.
Yes.
This way you won't be bored, and
Yeah.
you're so talented.
Yeah, you can
help.
come over instead of going home and playing video games.
Right, you could
come
help
over
these
to
kids
SOS.
out. Exactly.
I think we, when we have all the numbers in here on a Thursday, just pack them up and we head down there and see whatever it is that needs to be done. I mean, we did that when we went to the Marlin game, right? Josh and his Marlins. And we did the hamburgers and all that.
You know, they get attached, so you want to make sure it's someone that's going to be consistent to be able to keep showing up. Because if you come up, you never want anyone to feel abandoned, certainly not these kids.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having
And
me.
it's been such a pleasure. We're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, we've got some gratitude coming your way, and we've got our good friend, author, and publicist Frank Ruffolo joining us. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40 plus works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or Or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? What would you do if you had a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times treatment is fully covered, so why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to take off time from work, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are two good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call us right now and save a life.
Call 855-350-4504. That's 855-350-4504. Call 855-350-4504 now.
Want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call, because the best prices are not online. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner. Call today and get the best price on your next flight, guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back. Did you fix your broken string?
Happy hump day to you, Katie says. It's Wednesday.
Yes.
All right, we're going to chit-chat with Frank, who's sitting over there, our good friend Frank A. Ruffolo, author, publicist, a man of many talents and spirituality.
Now, Frank is headed down to that thing on Saturday. Is there somebody else that we know that's going as well from here?
It's Read
Lynn?
It, Write It.
Lynn's going.
It's an event at Wellington Greens Mall, right?
Green Mall. Starts Saturday at 11 to 4. We're going to have workshops. I'm going to share a workshop on self-publishing from 11 to 11:30. Plus, I'll have a table. So come down and buy some books.
You going to have all your books there?
Yep.
So let me get this right. You're going to help people learn how to self-publish, because a lot of people do self-publishing and they do it wrong.
Or they don't know how to self-publish, or they get involved with shady individuals who think they're going to help them self-publish, and all they do is take their money and don't do anything. So
you help them pick the right from the wrong?
I'm going to offer a workshop to tell them how they can do it themselves, and it's easier than you think it is.
I was shocked by some of the information. I couldn't believe the low cost of self-publishing.
There's virtually, depending on where you go, there's virtually no cost to self-publish, except for some minor things you have to do. I mean, you have to purchase your own ISBN number, which is the barcode for your book, and you have to buy those. If you don't have the ability to create your own book cover, you would then have to hire somebody to do your book cover. But you can do that yourself through self-publishing, depending on where you go. But virtually there's no cost to self-publish, and there's no cost for inventory. There are outlets that are available that print on demand, so You don't have to hold
That's
any
what I was
inventory.
going to ask you. You don't have to house books anymore. Like, you don't have to buy 100,
I mean,
right?
I house books because I do book signings, so I need books for book signings, but you can buy your own books. But with there's self-publishing outlets where you don't have minimums to buy. A lot of places that you have to buy a minimum amount of books, which then you end up with a warehouse full of books, which you don't need. There are self-publishing outlets that don't have to do that at all. Just, you want to buy one book, buy one book. You want to buy 2 books, 10 books, buy 10 books.
Now, the secret to doing a book, is it getting a distributor? Like, you're going to be doing that event. Do you do a lot of events? What's the secret to getting, not only publishing your book, but then getting
You have to become your own marketer. I do most of my marketing on social media. I mean, you can, if you want to spend money to advertise, you can advertise them, and it's up to you. I mean, how you want to promote your books and how you want to do it is all up as a self-publisher. It's all up to you. The more you want to spend on it, the more you want to promote yourself, the more you'll sell.
But as far as the publishing aspect itself, you write it, you design your books, and there's virtually minimal costs other than the ISBN
Virtually
number.
minimal cost to do it. If you can do it all yourself, and you have an editor that can edit for you. I don't recommend an author editing his own book, because he will never find the mistakes that he makes, because he thinks it's fine. I mean, you can read a book 10 times and think it's fine, and somebody pick it up and say, "Oh, look, you made a mistake here." So, unless I am very lucky, I have a very beautiful editor that does my own books. So, but a lot of people, if they don't, they would have to hire an editor. So there's another expense. So, editing is not cheap.
Now, do you guys edit other people's books if they wanted to?
No,
serve?
it takes
Too much time?
too much time.
Because he's writing 10 books a month.
Well, how
And
many
I've
are you
got
writing now?
5 books. I have 5 books that haven't been published yet. So,
And are
it
you
takes
writing
up-
another one?
I just finished one about 5 months ago, but I'm
Right.
not writing another one. But it takes about a year to edit it, so it's got 5 years worth of work.
Oh my gosh.
Holy smoke.
Takes a year to edit one book?
Maybe she needs some help there, big boy.
At least a year, she says.
I mean, is this fixing his grammar and ideas and stuff like that, or is it?
Yeah, it's sentence structure sometimes. There's software that edits your grammar
Right.
that's available. There's another small expense if you want to go for the software that edits your grammar. That's called Grammarly. Will edit your grammar. But there's basically sentence structure. Sometimes you may have timeline. You may screw up on your timeline when you're writing it. Put a wrong name here, a wrong name there. It's the basic stuff that you need to fix. But storyline, no. But it doesn't really adjust the storyline. It's just basically all.
Is there a method where you write something and it gets all tangled up, but you're doing it on purpose? Does that ever exist?
Well, in a mystery, you're going to write something. You're going to try to hide the ultimate outcome. So you sort of have subplots and mix it all together. But
See, there's hope for me. Yeah, I could write my Spanglish.
Totally. But Saturday should be really interesting because you're going to be presenting a workshop.
I'm going to be presenting a workshop to people that are interested in wanting to, if they're not an author, want to be an author, and how to publish their own book. I'll give them the basic, what I would classify the 2 basic places to go to publish your own book.
Now, you've done this before?
To do what?
The seminar type of deal? Where you've told people how to publish
I've
your
told
own
people how to do it. I've never had a seminar, but I've told people how to do it before. I've had a seminar at I was at a book convention a few years ago where I was in a seminar. We were talking about my books. But yeah, there's 2, I recommend 2 different, if you're going to self-publish, there's 2 different places I would recommend to go. Ingram Spark is one, and Amazon KDP is the other one to self-publish.
To sell books? Or
To self-publish.
To self-publish.
Gotcha.
And how long is the time does it take?
To self-publish a book? A couple hours.
That's it?
Yeah.
Wow.
What's the
Do you
biggest?
have any idea?
Once you've got your book formatted once you've had your manuscript and it's all edited, you do your manuscript in Word. Once your book is manuscripted and all edited, to self-publish, you just upload it to their software. And it's done.
That's remarkable.
Do you read your book when she finishes fixing it?
Oh yeah.
You read it again?
Yeah.
Have you ever said, no, this isn't what I meant?
Yeah.
Really? And she's got to go through it again?
Well, she's got to correct. You know, I say, hey, you need to go to this page and do this, or you need to go to that page and do that.
This could
Oh, yeah.
be a career. You could one book the way I
A
write
book
may
could take
years.
I mean, it could take a long time to edit a book.
I see that.
And what's the book
You
that
actually, actually never, technically, you probably actually never could stop editing. If you wanted to, you could edit that book for years.
And just keep
But
going.
at the time, you know, after a while, you got to say, okay, this is it. This is the final edit. And sometimes mistakes come through. I mean, it happens.
Amazing.
And this is the next book in the series of the end of
The next book coming out will be in the next book in my Jack Stenhouse series. It's going to be called Operation Retribution. It's basically a return of a villain from my last book, which is Lady of the Harbor. There's a, I'm not going to give it away, but a villain returns.
Well, you got so many books. How do you remember all the plot lines to all? I mean, what do you got? 15 books? You remember 15 plots?
Yeah, I remember them all.
Really?
And I've got 5 more. I got more that I haven't even done yet. So, yeah.
Lord have mercy.
But yeah, this is the Operation Retribution. He comes back and seeks retribution against the people that tried to get rid of him in the last book, and a lot of characters get killed off in the next book.
And Karen got to do an interview with you for Latin Hustle. How did that go, Karen? What did you talk about?
A lot of information that Frank was talking to me about Florida Arts Network and what they're doing with that. We were talking about Ash Wednesday, Lent,
Anointing.
The movie making business, he talked about that too, is the part I was watching.
Yeah, how about bringing the movie making, bringing the film cinemas back to Florida. Florida was number 3 in the film industry in the United States. It was L.A., New York, and Florida was number 3. Then the incentives went away, and all the production companies went away.
Did you give Alex and all that whole crew Frank's information from last week?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I think Friday LJ is coming.
Oh, okay.
And that's the gentleman that I want him to meet.
The producer.
Yeah, because I had this envision of making a movie from one of your books and not waiting for other people to do it and see what happens. You know, Rocky, the first Rocky movie, he went home and he wrote in his garage and he did it himself because they offered him an insulting amount of money for it. So he went and he finished it and he did it himself in the whole 9, and then from there, look what happened.
That's what I was thinking about, making a short, like a sizzle on one of your
Yeah.
books, and then presenting it at one of the small film festivals to get the interest in it to see it, and then go forward to a
And
full
then-
feature film.
And then you go for the feature film. This is what the LJ does for a living. That's what he's been doing for a number of years. So, because I want to get them involved in the movie making business, which I took from you wanting to bring it back to Florida. And all these kids in here are making films today. All of them are involved in these minis, and it's a lot of work to beginning to learn that the industry is not, you know, put a paper to pen and you get a book. It doesn't work that way.
Well, our next event in the Florida Arts Network is going to be an award show. We give out an award. And the tentative category this year, we haven't finalized it yet, but the tentative category this year is going to be Best Music Video.
Really?
You know anyone that could submit anything?
Do we know anyone that can spend anything?
We got a he's about to work on his second project from what I'm
So
hearing.
that'll be coming. I'll let you know when that gets formally introduced.
Can we do it like on a weekend?
I don't know when.
Thursday
I don't know when. I don't know what.
Instead
I
of
don't
a
know-
Thursday night? 'Cause
I don't know
it's
when
tough
the.
leaving
I don't know
here.
when it's going to be. Usually we try to do it like on a Friday night, so Saturday is free. Depends on when we can get the venue. It's probably going to be at the Savoy Cinema, so
The
we
one
can
in
show
Fort
the.
Lauderdale?
That's the one
so
that-
so we can show the.
Yeah, it's
So
beautiful.
we can show the videos. So that's what we did last time.
What if I got you another movie theater? At
Whatever.
Atlantic Avenue.
That's fine. Whatever, as long as it's however.
You know, I'll provide the whatever because I kind of like that.
Let us know.
I like to go.
You should go.
Well, every time he does it during the week. And
Well, Friday night we'll just get you. You've got coverage on Friday night, so.
I won't be out here till 9:30. It'll never work. But if a movie theater deal works, and we'll
Let us know. We don't have a date planned, but whatever's optional.
I'm going to throw my hat into the ring.
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's a great idea. I think that Frank's idea of bringing the movies back is phenomenal, and I think that the kids can
We
join
lost
in.
50,000 jobs in Florida because the movie industry left.
Which book would you do? Stuck in Traffic as a short or another one?
Stuck in Traffic would be good because the book is basically all takes place in Florida. So, and we're working on that right now to try to get it done. So that would help, sure.
That's what I was thinking would be that one. Or would it be another one that you were thinking?
The other one is kind of international. It's going to be rough to do a trailer on. Gabriel's Chalice is an international book. That's going to be an expensive book to do. And the other one is I can't do anything with that right now. It's being pitched in Hollywood.
So Stuck in Traffic. It's very pertinent in Florida. I mean, that is right where the heart of human trafficking.
human trafficking.
And that's kind of a mission for you. You've finished the book because of a connection with somebody, and you
Yeah,
might take it full circle.
Rose Warner was a influence in the movie industry in California. She married into the Warner family. That's how she got Warner. She moved to Florida. She wanted to bring the film industry. She wanted to be big in the film industry here in Florida. And she wanted to bring the film incentives back. But her big mission was, before she passed, very tragically and very suddenly, she was very passionate about exposing human trafficking. So her last basic project that she got started on was she started writing a screenplay based on that, Stuck in Traffic, based on actual occurrences. We fictionalize the names, but what the occurrences that happened in the book actually happened. And she contacted me. She got, I don't know if you call writer's block or didn't like where it was going. She asked me if I'd finished the screenplay for her. So I got so taken by the plot of the screenplay that I expanded it and wrote the book off the screenplay, which is basically the opposite. Usually write the book first, then write the screenplay. Basically, I wrote the screenplay, then wrote the book. So the screenplay is a generic. It can take place anywhere. There's no city mentioned in the screenplay, but the book takes place in Florida. So
Let's talk 1 second about the business end of making movies, which is something that somebody introduced me to when I went to see The Whale. The movie The Whale. I don't think you guys seen the movie The Whale. And I read about The Whale, and the reason that a lot of people are uncomfortable with The Whale is because of the size. I think he did a great job on the movie itself. I think that the movie was very unbelievable. But the business side, if you're going to do something to pitch attention to a movie, would sex trafficking be that kind of movie, or should something else be in its place?
a lot of people are trying to expose this trafficking because it's being hidden from the public. The problem with exposing human trafficking is there's a lot of powerful people in the movie making industry that are involved.
And that's an issue. Because
Wow.
if you want to raise awareness, you're not going to get it.
And that tends to be, in certain arenas, an issue.
And you can't raise awareness or money because those powerful
People don't
are
want
gonna
it.
put it to the side, or they're going to shelve it. This is what I'm asking you because I was talking to somebody who wanted to do the same thing. This is going back before I met you. I had a studio on 18th Street. And the names that you hear nowadays, there's a congressman that was going to be indicted on sex trafficking. And for some reason, he says he wasn't. He says it went away, like you just said. My thought here is, in order to get to where we want to go to have movies come back to Florida, even though that's a very sensitive and needed subject matter, maybe doing something that would be more in the entertainment idea. It could be a good feel type of deal, because once you start touching on these vibes, it gets a little bit tricky.
I have a basic. My murder mysteries start in Florida, then he moves to New York. So I do have a book. I do have a screenplay written. I do have a book available. I do have a book. My first book, Jack Stenhouse book. He's from Florida.
Yeah, we go to Miami's New York now.
And it's he's it's about women dying from the bite of a black mamba snake, which doesn't exist in Florida, and he has to figure out how they're dying from the snake bites.
Yeah, but don't you think bringing awareness to human trafficking, when you see that trailer,
I knew you were going to go there.
It's
I knew
just
it.
so powerful to bring awareness.
Yes.
It would be like doing a documentary on the foster care system. It's because if you don't know, you don't know.
No,
and we need to educate people.
I get it, but I want to play more than one chess game. And what I'm
Do that.
afraid of is if you do this,
They're
even
gonna
that,
bury it, you think?
they're going to bury you. They're not going to let it out. And I read so many negative things about The Whale. It's not going to win an Oscar. They don't want it. They want to get rid of it. They want it out of the movie theaters. They want it into Netflix and stuff like that. They just don't want it because of the size. This guy's a big guy that he plays over 600 pounds because it's the size and mental anguish of
The
that
movie industry now is moving away from feature films because feature films is a one-time shot. There you are. Here's your money. Gone.
Yeah.
If you make it. And a lot of people now, a lot of the movie makers now are going into series. Usually Netflix, HBO, Cinemax, Amazon Prime, Apple, and they're going into series. So because if you can produce a series that draws attention, that's an ongoing revenue stream.
Yeah. There's more money in
There's more
streaming.
money.
You know, it's funny because I've been doing streaming now in 18 years. And I did it for radio. I did it for AM radio because I wanted to put TV and radio together. And they laughed me out the building. Major League Baseball, I wanted to stream football, NFL, in Europe. They laughed me out of the offices in New York City. I know the guy that got the contract. I know the money he's making. And I know that I'm laughing every time I watch it on my phone because he makes a bundle every time a game plays. If they had been smart and had done this from its inception, and the NFL would be worth more than $9 billion, maybe $90 billion, see, because revenue streaming.
Revenue stream now is mostly in the series. The only disadvantage in a series is there's a lot of more work. To involve in a series. Instead of writing an 80 or 90 page screenplay, now you're writing 10 or 15 or 20 45 page screenplays. So
yeah.
I have a question. When you're watching on Netflix and a lot of these series or shows that come out, it's like they have the first 3 episodes and then all of a sudden within a few months the next episode is coming, or the next season, and it has like, let's say 10 episodes. But doesn't filming take a long time to produce and edit and put on the screen?
That's why when you see like a series like Witcher, I think they've had 2 seasons come out, and of course COVID did a lot of the thing, but it may take a year or 2 to do a series before it comes out. So that's why there's always breaks in the series. That's why you don't see it's not like a TV series where they come out every year, which is another whole monster.
But streaming is definitely, if you look at network TV, your limitations on content, you've got cop shows, medical shows, music. Streaming has everything you could possibly imagine. So much that your choices become endless. If you actually have to ask someone, what should I watch? Because otherwise you don't even know. But it's
they've gotten smart now because when you turn on Netflix, they tell you the number 1 streaming show today is, and they give you the 10 by order of number, and the number is increasing as you're watching this thing, and you go, I gotta watch number 1. Who wants to watch number 10, right? You want to watch number 1. It is the most amazing psychological aspect that I've ever seen with streaming. It's unbelievable.
My
Unbelievable.
question, I guess I didn't really get to it though, is how do they get these shows out there so fast? Like,
Oh, but they've been filming for years.
They've been filming for years. It doesn't, it
What
takes
you're
a while.
seeing took place 2 years ago.
so they're just previous projects that are coming out
Yeah.
now.
You know, now that you brought that up, I love the show Bull, right? Until they fired the idiot for whatever he did. But they had the mask for COVID, and the shows came out. So they came to the realization they had to reshoot because they knew that we're going to be doing this thing without the mask. So here you have them in masks, and they still have the dividers in glass. Because apparently, if you go to Ion TV, which I watch a lot of, they play a lot of reruns. And now they're coming out with Seinfeld reruns on Channel 70, because those things are still watched, even though you know every word
And
of every
Friends.
show. And Friends. And you know every word of
Yep.
every show. But we grew up with this stuff, right? So what you're talking about was done here, and they're showing it today. Night of the Living Dead. No, what was that? The
Walking Dead?
The Walking Dead. I watched 10 years of that on a weekend.
You binge.
I binged. My eyes were wide open like this with toothpicks because I couldn't get enough of this crap. And I promised myself I wasn't going to watch.
People binge watch. It's that addictive quality of our brains.
But it was pretty good, the first one. I don't know what the rest of it is junk. They
More to
got
come.
the shooting up movie, Wick.
Oh, John Wick?
Yeah. Number 4 is coming out next month. Have you seen the first 3? If you like gory shooting.
I don't know. I would love to see one of Frank's books as a sizzle in a movie. I think that would just
But
be.
you got to be smart about what you're going to put out, because I think that if Frank sits on a board and he's saying, check out this sizzle, this is what we want to do in Florida, it can't be the sensitive stuff yet. Doesn't mean you don't do it,
No,
just
you
not
need-
yet.
No.
So meeting, he's coming in on Friday, LJ?
Yeah,
All right.
we'll bring Frank back.
All right, so Frank's going to stay with us. Everyone's going to hang with us for a little bit. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, I think we've got Vismaya Rubin joining us from Miami. Day of Gratitude, Freddie says today, and it's
Day of
222. So if you believe in angel numbers, today is a special day. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Stephanie Jaffe is a world-renowned artist who creates one-of-a-kind pieces. Using a keen sense of color and composition, her vibrant collages and mosaics integrate eclectic elements such as vintage keepsakes and fine china with blown glass and fired clay to create whimsical arrangements. For more information about her work, come down to the Brooklyn Cafe TV studio or go to StephanieJaffeArt.com.
Has someone in your family lost a job recently, and now you can't afford your mortgage payment? Or do you have a rental property and your tenants aren't paying you? We can come to the rescue and pay you cash for your home immediately. Yes, sell your home and get cash all over the phone without dealing with real estate agents or having to waste time showing your home to lukewarm buyers. You don't need to lose your house to foreclosure. If you have equity in your home, we'll buy your home and give you cash within days. All in a simple over-the-phone and virtual process. Call now before your situation gets worse. Sell a home you can't afford or just need anymore and get the cash you need today. Call this number now.
Call 855-348-5925. That's 855-348-5925. Again, 855-348-5925.
Tax audits, tax liens, wage garnishments.
Every day we hear stories like this about good folks who are simply struggling to pay their bills. Each of them are living a frightening IRS tax nightmare, and they are afraid it will destroy their lives.
I'm a divorced single mom, and my ex-husband left me and the kids with a lot of unpaid bills, including unpaid taxes. I was really starting to show my stress on my kids because the IRS had sent me a letter demanding a huge payment from me. I couldn't afford it. So then the IRS was threatening to garnish my wages. I'm already living paycheck to paycheck. That would have put me over the edge financially.
It truly seemed hopeless, but then a friend at work told her to call the tax relief line.
The people at the tax relief line, they told me about something called innocent spouse relief. They worked it out so that all of the taxes from my ex are not my problem. I don't know how that works, and I don't care. All I care about is that I don't owe the IRS a dime, and they are not going to take my paycheck.
Even if it seems hopeless, you should call the number on your screen right now. There is absolutely no cost for the call or the consultation. You are under no obligation. If you are worried that the IRS could garnish your wages, seize your assets, even take your home, call us right now. The Tax Relief Line is here to help you. Now you have a knowledgeable, professional team of tax experts that are ready to negotiate with the IRS and fight for you to save you money. The Tax Relief Line's professionals have successfully negotiated thousands of cases, reducing and sometimes even eliminating the tax debt for their clients. It's very easy to get started. Simply call the number on your screen right now. You don't have to live in fear anymore. The call and the consultation are free.
If you served in the Marine Corps, by now you know about the contaminated water problem at Camp Lejeune. If you were stationed or worked at Camp Lejeune from 1953 to 1987, you probably have a lot of questions. We have some answers. You could be entitled to compensation. Billions of dollars are being allocated to pay for damages to anyone stationed at Camp Lejeune during that time. Unfortunately, it appears that officials may have known the contaminated water problem existed and did little to protect their men. The Semper Fi code was not honored. If you or someone in your family has developed a serious illness, including various forms of cancer, call this Camp Lejeune legal support line right now. You can't turn back the clock and change what happened, but you can certainly call right now and learn your rights as a Marine. Here's the number.
Call 855-993-2180. That's 855-993-2180. Again, 855-993-2180.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
I'm like listening
like
to
it.
you. That's nice.
I like it. That's nice.
That's nice.
Yesterday, Josh and Baxton sang, and all I heard about was Baxton's guayabera and the hat. That's all I heard
True.
about. And they said, "Wow, he looks like you." I said, "He looks like him. He don't look like me."
You know, this place is a place of miracles every day, and what just happened during commercial break again just reinforces the angels that sit with us here in the studio every day and bring miracles about. And they just keep saying, it's never too late. It's amazing.
Everybody has a reason for being, as they say. There are no accidents, right?
Not
good
today
stuff.
anyway, is all I can
Yeah,
tell
it's
you,
good.
right?
It's
So
good. It's good
today
stuff.
happens to be Ash Wednesday, and it's 222, and Freddie says we need to have this Maya Rubin join us because she is the lady with the gratitude, living in gratitude today. She was in studio yesterday on Meta Life magazine. She comes all the way from Miami, so she's going to be joining us virtually from her home in Miami and come in a few weeks. But today you wanted to talk about gratitude.
Yes, today being Ash Wednesday, when I was growing up, my parents used to use this as a learning experience. So you gave up something and you had gratitude. And Ms. Maya was nice enough to help me yesterday to get a doctor for one of our shows tomorrow. And then I remembered that today being Ash Wednesday, I wanted her to come on and talk a little bit about gratitude and a little bit about what she stands for. And I think it would fit in very nicely in today's conversation.
All right, let's bring her over. See if she's still there. There she is.
I'm here. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great. Thank you so much for joining us. It was such a great segment yesterday that you put together.
It was so much fun. The conversation was amazing.
Can you reach one of those for me? My arms aren't long enough.
Which one?
The magazine.
This one? Yes.
So in this magazine that came out for February, the Meta Lifestyle magazine, you have an article in here, and it's called Gratitude Punch. And look at that, I opened up right to it. And I was skimming through the article, and Karina was here. It says, perfect for any time of the year. And I'm reading through, and I said, you need to make Gratitude Punch on the show yesterday. And you said to me, you do realize that there's nothing in here to make punch out of. And I said, well, sure there is. So in my mind, it was like the perfect opportunity to share, because I think sometimes people need to see the physical to believe it, right? They need to see it to understand it. And I love how you did it. So do you want to talk a little bit about this whole article about Gratitude Punch?
Sure. I don't even know how it came about, what inspired it. But it was funny because when I was in the studio yesterday and I was actually making it, and I'll get into what's in it, somebody asked me, do you really make your clients make this? And I started laughing. I'm like, no, it was just a visual idea to get
right.
People to see how there's different components of things that we can bring into our day that will make our day that much better. So the first part was, declaring today to be a great day. And I won't go through all the steps because you can read it in the article. But declare what it is you want. Keep educating yourself, learn things. Like I was listening to the segment right before I jumped on. There was so much information giving on publishing, on even the human trafficking conversation was quite powerful. So educate yourself, give yourself 10 minutes a day to learn something, communicate, talk to people that you haven't spoken with. We all learned during the pandemic, time is very short. Things can change in a minute. Call somebody you haven't spoken with, write a letter, send a card. How often do we get snail mail that's actually fun mail? Usually it's bills, so send a letter. And expect life to work for you. When we go about our day, if we're constantly going, oh my God, it's going to be so hard, it's going to be so hard, you're going to get exactly what you say you're going to get. And for me, the most important part is gratitude. Looking at those small things that happen in our life, the large things that happen in our life on a regular basis, but constantly being on the look. It's really about training your brain to find those moments that bring you joy. Even in the things that are not so pleasurable, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? My mom passed away in September, and it was a really trying experience, but there were so many moments of gratitude, so many wins that I kept receiving. But had I not been practicing, not an attitude of gratitude, but practicing gratitude, I wouldn't have been able to see as many as I saw. So when Freddie said, hey, today's a day of gratitude, I had to go up and look some things up. And I'm of the Jewish faith, so I wasn't very familiar with the concept of gratitude and Ash Wednesday. But it's really a moment or a day where we get to really give thanks, from what I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, but give thanks and pay attention to our mortality, and to realize that we have one life, we get to live it, we get to play the way we want to play, and make the most of it. And then the giving up of meat on Friday is another form of realizing or remembering that we have so many choices all the time. And on this one particular day, we're limiting ourselves, which allows us to see that we have so many things in front of us that we sometimes forget or take advantage of. Was I on it, Friday?
That's right. It's funny because Lent is remember you. Look in that mirror, give up something, yada, yada, yada. But it's all about you're talking to yourself. You're taking 24 hours because you're as important as anything and everything going on in your life. That's the real message right there.
Yesterday we had Zaina join us. I always want to call her Zaya, but Zaina join us. And she, at the end of the interview, I haven't even talked to you about it, she shared how she lost her son right after childbirth and how she got through that loss, never expecting he was a healthy baby, and how things happen. And you have to seize the moment of every opportunity you're given, because you don't know if and when you're going to get that opportunity again. And how she got through it was in gratitude. Just as you just said, is exactly what she said on yesterday's show here, is training your mind in gratitude and appreciation, and knowing that if something goes wrong, she now is able to help others go through an experience that she went through. And never did she think before last April would she ever be in that position at this age in life, or anything like that. And that seems to be the message resonating this week, is to live in gratitude. As you say, living in gratitude and expecting the world to serve you. And Rabbi Jenny used to say that all the time.
All the time.
You know, the world is here for you, not against you. And if you truly believe that and you walk in faith, and it's overwhelming what is happening in the studio today. Frank, I think it's you. You seem to bring out all of this greatness. So whether you give up in patience or not, I don't know, just keep doing what you do. Because what just happened during commercial break is their story to tell. But I'm sitting here telling Freddie, I'm tearing. And here you come on talking about gratitude. And it's not about religion, right? It's not about being of any faith.
We can learn from so many different faiths. And I love what you just said, that it's a day to honor ourselves. And that's one of the reasons why when I talk about gratitude wins, I always throw in a component of what did I do for myself or others? Because oftentimes we forget to acknowledge what it is that we did well, what it is that we did magical, and how did we help the community. And the more that we focus on, and not in an egomaniacal way, but the more we focus on the things that we do well, that is a great motivator for us. It's great for our self-esteem. It's great it motivates us in the sense that, especially if we write them down, that every time we look at our list of things that we did well, or the things that we did for other people and how it made us feel, it encourages us to do more. So I love that component of it, because when I was reading today, I didn't see anything about that. So that was pretty powerful.
You know, the amazing thing is that there's no right or wrong answer. It's all about taking just that 1 second, and nobody does gratitude better than you. And I always said to Dawn, Vismaya, I love that name. I love the energy you bring. I looked at the mixture you had over there. But you know, what you didn't say is you got to add some of that smile into everything she touches. She's like you. Everywhere you go, something good happens. And it's amazing when you meet people. I try to explain to people that this is my Magic Kingdom, right? I went up to the Magic Kingdom for the first time in my life at 60 years of age, and I was floored. I was taught about Magic Kingdom by a 3-year-old on her father's shoulders. And then yesterday I come in here, I see what goes on. I got a good look at Frank over here with his ashes on his forehead, the stories that are coming through today, and then you top it off. Man, you got to appreciate your life. This is what I told you that I wanted to do for our birthdays this year. Just take a minute to say, you know something? I appreciate me for a minute. No longer, just a minute. Because when you do that, you get smiles like that. And everything around you changes. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Very good stuff.
Well, we love having you, Vismaya.
I love being with you guys. I love every time you call and I say yes. So I fix things around, I move things around, and I say yes.
Tell us how you got your name.
So it was not what the Jewish parents gave me. I went to India in 1998, and I was at an ashram. I spent 6 weeks there. My friends went, and they're like, you have to go, you have to go. And I'm like, all right. So I spent 6 weeks there, and then you could take sannyas. They would give you a name, but I was not willing to renounce my Judaism because I love being Jewish. So the name Vismaya means surprise or wonder. So it's Jivan Vismaya, which is life's surprise or life's wonder. And it was funny because initially when they gave me the name, I was like really a little annoyed because I wanted to be Prem something, because Prem means love. So the more I think about it, the more I play with it, I'm like, I'm okay with Jivan Vismaya, because one of the philosophies that I love to live by, and I had just posted something right before I came on, and it was, you know, when the universe gives you gifts, take them. And when you stop taking them, they stop coming. So it's always a reminder too, when the universe says, like, you texted me, hey, you want to be on today? Yes. Hey, can you do this? Yes. It's not always possible, but sometimes we say no because we're fearful or we don't know how, or we can't figure out the logistics, but just sometimes say yes and see what happens. So that's
how did your whole practice of living in gratitude today happen for you?
I think I always have practiced gratitude my entire life, but I would call myself lucky. I grew up with a bipolar mother. My parents got divorced when I was 3, and things would happen, and then people would go, oh, I'm so sorry for you. I feel so bad for you. And I was like, it would infuriate me because my mom was bipolar, but my mother created amazing experiences for me. So it wasn't that I there were tough times, many tough times, and we had the kind of relationship where like we wanted to choke each other, but if anybody said anything about either one of us, they were goners. Like we loved each other, we protected each other, and we also wanted to choke each other at the same time. So we had this wonderful, an amazing love, but we were definitely together for many lifetimes. But I think that just that whole experience growing up as with a bipolar mother, and then, you know, my parents getting divorced very young, and it was a very messy divorce, and there were a lot of things that if I ever had children, I would never do if I got divorced. Or I tell parents that I see getting divorced, don't ever do this to your child. But I think it was always something that I just grew up with. But I didn't realize it was me practicing gratitude. I always said, oh, I'm lucky. And then it clicked one day. I'm like, it's not luck, it's gratitude, because I constantly find these moments. I find the little juicy things.
It's an amazing practice. And you can get a copy of Vismaya's article at metalifestylemagazine.com and just click on, I guess, subscriptions or magazine, and you can find the e-version of it, or you can become part of the club and get the printed version, or you can stop by the cafe and we might give you a copy. But I love this.
I
And
see
here's just the
somebody on the
ingredients.
back, I know.
Oh, yeah, there's someone on the back that you know, yeah. Yes. That wasn't why I was showing the magazine, though. But here's the ingredients. 1 part declaration, 1 sprinkle of expectation, 3 to 4 parts appreciation, 1 part celebration, 1 part education, and 1 part communication. So however that mixes up. When I was a little girl, my
This is
grandmother,
vodka and a little cranberry.
she always had a sign over her washing machine that said a happy home recipe, and it was just like that. 1 part love, 2 part hugs, and I actually still have it hanging over my washing machine. And it's one of those things that always sticks with you, that brings up a memory like you have of your mom, that warm memory and that feeling, that something that triggers you, a good trigger though, that you want to share.
Definitely.
How do people get in
good-
touch with you? Yeah.
My website is livingingratitudetoday.com, and I'm on all social medias, Vismaya Rubin, mostly as Vismaya_Rubin, or you can find me at Living in Gratitude Today.
And you've got some great t-shirts, some great
I
swag.
do.
Buy the swag. She has fantastic swag on there. Now, I got to tell you, I want to share this with Karen. Vismaya, in my world, means visión de mañana.
I like it.
So visión de mañana is vision of tomorrow. When I first met you, that's what I thought it meant. Vismaya. I didn't know it meant anything else. So,
And I think you got to interview with Karen, didn't you?
yes.
I did.
I love keeping this whole family together.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you so much for joining us and taking time
My
out of your day
pleasure.
last minute. I appreciate it.
I love being with you guys. You always bring me so much joy and so much love, and I love the things you do and the place. I love the environment that you create for people, and no matter who walks in, you stop and it's joyful, and you welcome people to your community.
Well, thank you. Someone texted me
My
that
pleasure.
yesterday, and it's not about us. It's really about the energy and the stories that you all bring that make this home for everybody. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. What people don't see is the behind the scenes of you guys, and this is the last thing I'll share, is you make everything seem so effortless, and you, even though you're the host and you're the ones doing everything, you are also in the background moving and shaking and getting things done. And again, you always do it with love and with compassion and the purpose to make the other person shine. So people don't always see that because you always are so beautiful in the front of the camera, but they don't see what goes on in the back.
Oh, I appreciate that. We've known you a long time.
I
Gotta
think
be
it's
5, 6
I
years, right?
think we gotta come up with a little something. Little gratitude week or something. We're coming up with something. We're gonna come up with something. I want to thank you for helping me get a doctor in such short notice for tomorrow.
My pleasure.
You got a blue chip with me, but I'm gonna be calling you because we're gonna do a little something that just popped in my head.
Perfect.
Thank you so much, Vismaya. I appreciate it. We're going to see you soon.
Yes, my pleasure. Thank you.
Bye-bye. You gotta love what we do. You know?
Nice lady.
You lose sight sometimes of the magic that comes through the studio, but After what I just saw over here, I can't lose sight of any of this magic because it's not about us. It is what the angels and God and everything brings together here. To make these connections, who always says there are no coincidences, Sally?
Yes.
I think there are no
It's always about witnessing something that happens. You know, I think Frank said it best one time. Says if you don't witness it, even it doesn't mean it didn't happen. You have to see it. You got to acknowledge it. You got to look at it, and come to the realization that there is another way. You know, Frank is always saying we're going to have choices to make, and there is another way. This present choice, not too good.
I got to ask Frank, I know you said a miracle only happens once, which is why it's called a miracle. But there are different miracles that happen throughout the day and throughout the weeks. So there's more than one miracle that can occur. It just might not occur the same one twice.
Depends on your definition of a miracle.
Right? So I'm going to ask Frank, who sees, he's kind of the soothsayer. He sees it before it happens, and then it happens. Do you consider these miracles when something great happens, or do you just come to expect these things coming from your mind and it channels out?
Miracles happen through the grace of the higher power, wherever you would think the higher power is. It's something that's unexpected that happens, that shouldn't happen. You can classify that as a miracle.
Or that you can explain happen.
Or that can't be explained. A miracle sometimes is something happens that can't be explained. It just happens.
It just happens.
Now, can it happen in your life over and over again? And then one
Oh,
day
you can have more than one miracle in your life, but
then
not
one
the
day
same
you say,
miracle.
you know something?
You can have more than one miracle in your life, but Freddie's right. When a miracle happens, that's it. That's a one time only.
But you've witnessed many.
I've witnessed a lot.
Does it ever surprise you when it happens again?
No.
Does it surprise the person that you're with or it happens to?
Yeah. If a person experiences a miracle, it comes to a surprise to them.
Does it change their life?
And sometimes it changes their life. Sometimes it doesn't. You know, a lot of people, you got to smack them on the side of the head with a 2x4.
Did you realize what just happened?
But that's when it gets fun. When people refuse to acknowledge what they just witnessed.
Yeah, a lot of people refuse to acknowledge. 'Cause I don't know if they're afraid.
Or they say it's
They're
a
afraid.
coincidence.
They're afraid because they're afraid that they're going to have to change their life. And maybe they should change their life.
And Julian, I think you must see miracles every day. Do you realize it when you see them, or does it become this is what you do?
I think for me it just is what I do. But there are times where something really special sticks out.
Yeah.
But then again, now you know when I listen to what you're saying, so that all those little things are not necessarily a miracle; they're just really great things. And then those special ones are those miracles.
But sometimes you don't realize just how much of a miracle you're living through. You know, you didn't know G-Man was going to be here, and he knows you. And I'm going to tell you, that's a good guy right there.
Yeah.
One of my
One of the
aces
best,
in
yep.
here. And just that he remembers is a miracle.
Yeah.
And it happens right in front of your eyes. And sometimes you don't know how to accept the fact that you do miracle work. Same thing with Frank. You know, Frank is a healer. And you don't realize it until somebody points it out to you. You know, you changed my life. And there's the miracle. Simple. No explanations needed.
Right, and you witnessed one yesterday.
That's right.
Right?
Yes.
Or were part of one.
Yesterday.
When you were cooking.
Oh yes, with my daughter. Yesterday I had my daughter over at my house and we were making arepas, and I was telling Dawn how it was just feeling her warmth, her love, seeing her smile, like having her come back into my life again is just like, it's so amazing. And I relate a lot to what Vismaya says about gratitude. Like, it is so important to wake up every day thanking God for another day of life, thanking God for your blessings, you know, being grateful for what you have and what you can do, and And one thing that Frank and I talked about on the show was about living in faith and putting God first. So there's a lot of beautiful things we've learned today.
It's pretty amazing because today started a quiet day. It was you, me, and Josh.
That's it.
Right? But
You know,
yet,
and I want to touch on something real quick. It's not about selling faith, because I know that that's a subject that's very touchy. Just selling peace. Be in peace with yourself. Be good to the person in front of you and to the person in the mirror. And we don't need to talk about faith, because a lot of people get a little cranky with me when they say, oh, you're talking about faith. And then, no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the inner peace that you find of being able to do something with your daughter that you haven't done, if ever, in a very, very long time. Same thing with meeting people for the first time, and you get to witness. She's always telling me, get up, can you get up? And no, I'm watching. I'm not getting up. What am I getting up for? I'm seeing a whole movie. Get me some popcorn here to watch it. Because let me tell you, a miracle happens so fast. When you blink your eye, it's done. Just be cognizant of the fact that it does happen, and it can happen to you.
right? Sometimes I think it's just reframing, because for Yom Kippur, it's the day of repentance and repenting your sins. It doesn't mean miracles don't happen on that day and good things don't happen. So if Ash Wednesday is starting this Lent process of giving up, to witness a miracle today, to me, is the greatness of what it is also. It's 222 as well as an angel number, whatever you believe in. But to see the positive, and even a day that's a day maybe of sadness and repentance, good things can happen.
Educate yourself and learn.
I like Vismaya said that.
It's good stuff. She's a very warm lady.
And she loved what you had to say about self-publishing and education. I guess we really educate people on this show.
Maybe she'll write her book now.
You ever written a book, Jillian? It could be like Confessions from the CEO.
No,
or
I
something.
said one day I'm going to write
you
all
have a
the
book
things
in
that
you.
I've
Yeah.
seen and experienced and learned, because I have learned a lot, that's for sure.
Did you ever think you would learn when you went back for your master's in social work? You knew you were going to give, but
Yep.
did you think you would learn?
No, and definitely not as much as I have.
What are some of the greatest lessons you've learned?
To never give up, to be kind always, and to believe that everyone has good intent.
No fear.
No fear.
And the amazing thing is the space that you work in as you run SOS, there's fear, there's sadness, there's a lot of tears, right? The people don't come to you going, I'm so happy to be here.
No.
But yet you still hold the space of positivity in your heart, of hope.
Yep.
Amazing. I love that. What a day.
It's funny, when I was in the Bronx growing up, there was an SOS, but it was Save Our Sports, right? So every time she says SOS, I remember that white shirt with the blue lettering on it. It's the SOS, Save Our Sports, because they were getting rid of Little League and all that in the Bronx. And then to come full circle to what you do and the lives that you affect and how it affects other people that listen to the stories, it's amazing. And you do have a book. When you want to write it, of course, is up to you.
Frank can help you self-publish.
I should come to that class on Saturday.
Exactly. We'll get you his direct contact. It's like straight to the angels.
Yep.
And Frank is doing his thing on Saturday. Where is it? Your fan is killing me.
Wellington.
Wellington Green,
Wellington Green, what time?
between 11 and 4. My workshop's at 11 and between 11 and 11:30.
A free event?
Free, open to the public.
You got nothing to lose. Free event, and you can even bring the kids. Are you dressing up as one of the characters in your book?
No.
A lot of people
I was
are doing
wondering
it.
which one, Lady
I think
Liberty,
a lot of people are doing that, though, right?
I think so, Ma. We were trying to figure out who you would be.
Spaceman. I got an alien head if you want.
If I was going to dress up one of my characters, it'd probably be the detective. I would dress up as a detective.
You could do that.
You do that anyway. You look like 007.
Yeah, 007.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. You can get Frank's books on Amazon and his website, frankarufolo.com. For Jillian, SOSFlorida.com. We're going to the mall at Wellington Green. And for Karen, if you want to be interviewed on our Latin Hustle with Karen, contact us right here at the studio, 888-994-4995. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Find the miracles in your day, and we will see you tomorrow, 9 a.m. drive time.
Happy Ash Wednesday. Don't be late. See you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over, the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.